So I was basically born in a gym. At the age of 2, I started going to Parents and Tots classes. My mom was a ballerina, and she had the dream that I was going to be a professional gymnast. By the age of 12, I was competing nationally and working out 4 to 6 hours a day, and I had my heart set on the Olympics. And then I started to get really sick. I had these excruciating migraines, and it felt like there was this magnet, those magnets that pick up cars in a junkyard, and it was pulling at this imaginary metal ball that was in my head. I couldn't hold down food anymore. The doctors had no idea what was going on. And then eventually my stepmother took me to this old-fashioned doctor at the Naval Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, and he found some swelling behind my eye and ordered a brain scan. Lo and behold, they found a orange-sized brain tumor in the back of my head, and said that I needed to have surgery immediately. They thought that it was probably malignant and gave me a very dismal prognosis. But I believed none of it. I knew I was going to be going to the Olympics, and nothing was going to be getting in the way. So a couple weeks later, I was in the hospital, and the doctors were making their final rounds the night before the surgery. And my mom had set up the hospital room with all of my awards and medals. And the doctors walked in, and she explained that they were about to be operating on a future Olympian. And then she asked them to come out into the hallway, and she asked me to tumble. And I was pumped up on some steroids to shrink the tumor before the surgery, so I was feeling really great. So I did a round-off back handspring back flip and impressed the doctors. And then she said, "Get to bed, guys, because you've got a very important surgery the next day." So the next morning, I went straight into the operating room. It was a 14-and-a-half-hour long surgery. There were a couple of pretty big scares. My blood pressure shot up really high, and they said, thankfully, because I was in such good shape that I made it through. So I woke up and discovered that the surgery was a complete success, and that it was a benign tumor. But it was in a part of my brain where I had to learn how to move my body again. So I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn, how to write again, how to do everything. I remember that I could ride my I learned how to re-ride my bike before I could walk. So I would just ride everywhere, and I was cross-eyed, and I walked really funny, and I used to have one of those old-fashioned like suitcase holders to put my backpack on in school, and kids were making fun of me, and it was pretty tough, and so I just wanted to be alone, and I remember I had a close group of friends that were just really there for me and really supported me, and I felt so grateful for them because it was my support structure, and I just kept thinking, what am I going to do to thank them for being there for me? And at this time, my mom kept reminding me that I had this second chance, and that I had this opportunity to do something with my life, to give back, and this kept resonating inside of me. And then all of a sudden, at 14, I had this very crystal clear image of what I was going to do when I grew up. I was going to be an investor. And I was going to be an investor because I was going to help all my friends' dreams come true. And it's an emotional thing for me because my whole entire life has been dedicated to this dream. So I had a plan. My plan was I was going to make a bunch of money. I was going to retire young, and I was going to invest in all my friends' ideas. So after university, I went straight for the money. My first job was on a trading floor at Citibank at 111 Wall Street. I was immediately miserable. And so I had to get out of there. So I got into real estate. I knew that the market was booming in New York in the late 90s, and I could meet interesting people. I could be outside. I could see this amazing city that we live in, and I could make some good money. So I thought, okay, this is my plan. But I very quickly realized that this too was a soulless job and very unfulfilling. And I realized that I had to get out. I had to start fulfilling my dream. And I had a breaking point. I was on the island of Majorca. I was vacationing with some friends, and all of a sudden I got a call from my assistant, and she explained that we had just closed a huge deal that would net me an insane amount of money. So I was standing on the beach at 26 years old, and I thought, I have the best life ever. And then the words hit me, is this it? And those words took my very lucrative career to becoming something that felt like the sound of nails on a chalkboard. I couldn't do it anymore. So I went back to New York. I sold my real estate company. I sold my apartment. I had 2 apartments, sold my apartments, and I went out on a sabbatical. After 4 months of cleansing my mind, my body, and my spirit, I started to feel peace again, and I reconnected with my passion and this childhood dream of mine. So I went back to New York, and I started helping my friends manifest their dreams, their different ideas. We started holistic cafes together. We started some reforestation projects. We built some art festivals, collaborative workspaces, you name it. It was awesome. I was living in my flow, and I felt completely fulfilled. And that's my story. And I'm still doing this today. I feel so incredibly grateful through all of these experiences, whether tough or rewarding. I've learned so much about life, and thank you so much for letting me share my story with you.